Hello everybody and welcome back to the Traumatised Pineapple Podcast. I'm Adam. You can find me at AdamIsTalking_ on Twitter.
And I'm Sam from LCA Productions, and you can find us on Twitter at LCA Productions LCA.
And I'm Inkydoodle. You can find me at YouTube/user/Inkydoodle4.
Are you going to read the whole string of numbers out?
HTTPS.
Okay, so today we're going to be talking about technology, and linked to that we have our icebreaker. We've got a round of citation needed. If you don't know, I have got in front of me a Wikipedia article. Those two know the name, they don't know anything else about it, and they have to guess what the Wikipedia says. So,
I know what the colour is. I also
one red paperclip.
It's a painted piece of office stationery. I'm correct.
Technically, you're correct.
Is it a TV series?
No.
Is it a games development company? Because it sounds like
it
one.
Sounds like it could be. It's
Is
not.
it a film?
No.
One
Should
red
be.
paperclip.
Isn't.
Is it one red paperclip or red paperclip?
One red paperclip.
Is it a company?
Either game.
No, not
is it
quite.
an anime?
Okay, it's a website.
Oh, website. Okay.
Created by a Canadian blogger, Carl McDonald, who did what?
Came up with the name One Red Paperclip and thought that's a good name for a blog.
Did he do marketing?
I mean, sort of.
But
In
Advertising.
an informal way, marketing and advertising is kind of what he did.
Oh, was he like one of those people that walks around with a big sign?
No.
Oh, it has to do with
Did he-
marketing and advertising.
Was the website
Informally.
where people could put advertise stuff?
No. Again, the advertising thing don't go. That's loose.
Yeah. Loose,
That's
okay.
a loose connection
Did
of how he
he-
did stuff.
Oh.
Did he do?
One Red Paperclip.
What did he do?
I'm trying to link that to
Was he a spine
marketing.
surgeon?
Don't think too far on the marketing thing.
No.
Was he a banker?
What?
It's a great description. Do you guys want me to explain?
Yes, please.
He bartered, starting with the paperclip.
Yes. Okay. Yes. No. I've heard of
Okay,
What is
now you
this?
guys know
Now
what
I
it
think
is.
I know.
Okay, so he bartered his way for a
Right.
single red paperclip
it. So yeah, marketing.
and over a series of
Quite a few
and
years.
over a series of 14 online trades. So let's go for the timeline. July 14, 2005. Okay,
One
so
Red Paperclip.
So he put the paperclip on Craigslist, doesn't say
Yes.
when. On July 14, 2005, he traded the paperclip for what?
A pen.
Yes, detail about the pen.
Parker pen.
No.
Biro.
No, probably, but no.
An
Blue.
exclusive pen.
Fish-shaped.
Oh.
It's a pen shaped like a fish.
I think I've seen them before.
But
Okay.
Was the ink, what colour's the ink?
I don't know.
Oh.
Okay. What did he trade that for?
A book of some kind.
No.
Ooh.
Was it an electrical device?
Not yet.
Oh, so
Oh.
There is some electrical devices
So,
further down the line.
I need to think. What would I trade a pen for? I mean, what would I give in order to receive a pen? Another pen, really. But
I've actually done this before. As
Some
part
lined
of
paper.
NCS, we each got given a paper
did
clip.
you?
We had to run around town and see what we could get from it, and then we used the stuff later on.
What did you end up with?
I can't remember. It was ages ago. We got quite a few.
some
things,
nail
actually.
clippers.
No. How are we going to go on? Hand sculpted doorknob.
I would never have got that.
No.
I think you guys seem to have a really vague knowledge of what this is.
Exactly.
I've
Yeah.
heard
Which
of it
is
before.
perfect.
I think I know what the end product was.
No, I'm
July
thinking of something
25th, 2005, he traded the doorknob for...
Like a
A mobile
plush,
phone.
a plush toy.
No.
An electrical
Sam's.
device. A radio.
Not quite an electrical device, but it's...
A hand crank radio.
MP3 player.
You're getting nothing to do with sound.
Oh, well, I'm not an MP3 player then.
Okay, here's
monitor.
the thing.
A clock.
If sound can be a waste product of energy, what else can wasted energy be given out
A
as?
radiator.
Heat.
Yes, you're on right with heat. What makes heat?
Hand warmers.
No.
Fire.
It's a race now.
What makes fire?
Lighter.
Petrol.
What uses
Wood. Car.
No,
It's
no.
not a doorknob for a car. So.
I don't know anymore.
Fire. You're doing well with fire.
Wood.
What? No.
No.
Fire extinguisher.
No. What, fire extinguisher doesn't make fire.
What
Sam.
uses fuel to? I said lighter.
Yeah. What uses fuel to?
I said lighter.
Not lighter.
Uses fuel to what?
But
What uses fuel to create fire? It's not.
Oh, a oil burner.
a lamp.
Kind of.
Stove.
Yes, a
Oh.
camping stove
Oh, camping
You
stove.
With fuel.
traded a
For a
handcrafted
doorknob, are you
for a
mental?
camping
with a
stove.
friend.
Oh,
So clearly, this.
so there's some like
Yeah.
leeway there.
Okay, September 24th, he traded the camping stove for.
TV.
You're
An
right.
actual stove.
Computer.
You're onto something with something that uses electricity.
Mobile phone.
Microwave.
I'll give you a hint
Is
there.
it okay? Kitchen or
No, not kitchen. You were kind of getting there with hand cranked. That's the kind
Generator.
of a Honda generator.
wow?
What?
Oh, he's getting up in the ranks.
Okay, no,
now.
he's doing well here.
So what generator for?
What happened to the generator before he? This is before he traded it again. What happened to
Did
the
it-
generator?
Did it break? Yeah.
It didn't break.
Exploded.
He got it back. What happened to it?
Did it explode?
No.
It got defaced. Someone
No.
graffitied on.
Did it run out of?
Was it? Did it detriment him in his trading it for a bigger? Like, did what happened to it make it so that he couldn't trade it for something?
No, he still got to trade it, but it took a bit longer than it should have. It took him 2 attempts to trade it for something. What went wrong the first time?
Oh, did person back out? Did someone steal it?
Ooh.
Now, steal isn't right because what happened was technically legal.
Oh,
Oh.
so he gave it away.
No, opposite.
Someone
Took
gave
it.
Who?
Oh, the person who sold it back.
No, it was confiscated.
Oh,
Who by? Fire department. New York City
Oh.
Fire Department.
You're not allowed.
Cool.
No, you're allowed to generate it, or maybe it was bad, defective, or something.
But he got it back, and what did he trade it for?
A car. That's what I was
Motor-
saying.
Motorbike.
No,
I feel like
Was
a
it a
motorbike could be a
vehicle?
bit.
no. It was an instant party. What was the instant party?
Fog machine?
No, not quite that exciting.
Oh, bubble
DJ
machine.
studio.
Nothing
Oh,
that exciting.
Drugs. They are not a party.
Nothing illegal.
Instant party.
Alcohol.
No.
Really
Kind
expensive
of.
bottles
Fridge.
of champagne.
I'll give you alcohol, and one of the things was an IOU for filling something with the beer of his choice. Filling what?
Swimming pool.
Oh my god! Smaller.
Bath.
Smaller.
Oh.
Large cup.
Mug.
Bigger.
Bucket.
Bigger. What do you put out? What's the tradition? What's like the cliche?
Fridge.
What's the cliche like American
Keg.
Oh.
keg?
Okay.
And
alcohol,
the final thing?
What that he traded the keg for?
The final thing was part of the instant party. It was an empty keg, an IOU for filling the keg with the beer of the bearer's choice, and
A pipe to pump the keg in.
not connected to the keg at all.
Is it something to do with music?
No.
Something to do with alcohol.
No, we
A
just
lifetime
Loosely.
supply of crisps.
It's loosely linked to alcohol.
coloured plastic straws.
Coloured something.
Cups.
Lights.
Yeah.
I'll give you light, a neon Budweiser sign.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
So I'll give you light.
That's cool.
Okay. He traded... What did he trade the instant party for?
a car.
Close.
Motorbike.
No, tricycle.
You're probably
Motor
close
trike.
with motorbike.
Moped. Scooter.
I will point out that the trade was completed in Quebec, in sort of, which I believe is the sort of the north of Canada. What might you need?
Oh, snowmobile.
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 Oh yeah, I was gonna say. I was actually.
That's so cool.
And then what did he trade that for?
Motorbike.
Not yet.
Car.
car.
No, nothing like that yet.
No.
Not a vehicle.
Not a vehicle. Really expensive computer.
It wasn't a physical. This one wasn't a physical object.
Bitcoin.
This was in
I
2005.
was gonna say something online. Is it something online then?
Think something more like the instant party and like the IOU
Second
thing.
Life real estate.
That'd be cool.
No, an IOU for
Not an IOU. Tickets to sometimes
tickets to some band.
No.
Not some
A
band.
party?
Event. Like a.
A trip. A
cool.
two-person
Oh.
trip to
Hawaii.
less.
Hotter or colder?
South America.
I don't know because I don't really know where this place is. It's America. It's another place in Canada.
Oh, I don't know.
Ontario.
No.
I don't know anywhere in Canada. I just know Canada.
There's Quebec, Ontario.
They're getting more refined.
No, Oslo's Norway.
Oslo's Norway.
I don't know Canada apparently. I thought I did,
I
but
like Norway.
British Columbia.
okay.
Oh.
Okay,
It's
he
an old
traded one of the spots on that trip for
Oh, a
A
pen.
car.
bigger.
Van.
Monster
truck.
Yeah, I was going to say
A
truck.
box truck.
Cool.
Oh.
That's why.
Then did he trade that?
Well,
this the
is
final
it like-
trade?
No, this is the
Monetary.
final. There's still about 5 trades left. He then
Oh,
traded
what?
the truck for what?
Apartment.
Not
Not
that
yet.
big. Again,
shed.
it's more of an IOU thing. It's not a physical
A
object.
Storage.
really expensive computer.
I said it's not a physical object.
Right. Sorry.
Oh, so storage?
No.
Because that's not physical. It's
Uh,
more
what do you
putting
mean?
physical stuff
A website that makes you money.
in. What would you trade a truck for?
Don't
It's
don't
not
think
physical.
that 'cause it's kind of crazy.
Okay.
More tickets to somewhere.
You're on the right.
Coupons. Sorry, vouchers.
Crazy voucher. A recording contract
Oh.
with a studio in Ontario.
Was he a musician or not? He just traded
No.
it for a Okay.
Yeah, a recording contract with
Imagine if
Metalworks.
he just stopped there and he used that to produce one really bad songs.
Okay,
He's
so
like,
That's weird.
what did he trade that for?
Again.
Again, not technically a physical
Vintage-
thing.
Well, if it were gonna... Oh, never mind. So if it's not technically... I was gonna go along the lines of music and go like vintage guitar.
A day out with like a band.
Not yet.
Oh.
Wow.
That was
So-
accurate apparently.
Recording contract for...
Is it something musical?
No, but probably sort of equivalent value.
Right. Business?
Meeting some celebrity?
Nothing like that.
Another holiday?
Business?
No.
Something to do with owning a business, possibly.
No, owning or possessing something.
Stocks. Shares.
You're close with something linked to money.
So it's not shares.
Not shares.
Investment.
Not Bitcoin. But money. A year's rent.
For wherever? Or for the place?
Presumably, yes.
So that's just money, really. We
And
just traded it
now,
for
now
money.
we're treading back to this one because you said a day out with a band. You're not quite right, but it was
Bill Gates.
an afternoon with someone.
The Queen.
Bill
It
Gates.
wasn't a
That's
whole. What I'll say is it wasn't a whole band.
Just a single singer.
A single singer. Do you want to have
Anthony Kiedis.
Right there.
No.
Okay, give me a genre of band. Is it like...
Metal, like heavy rock.
Okay, I should get this.
Big famous heavy rock band. It's not. With that much, you should be able to guess with a few tries.
Trent Reznor.
No.
I don't know.
Very, very famous. Like not
Corey Taylor.
older. Older music.
Dio.
No.
Bollocks. I'm trying to guess now. What's the Metallica dude?
No.
No.
I really do
Not.
My
But you're thinking along the right lines with Metallica, but wrong band.
So it's not Metallica, it's not Nine Inch Nails. Is it Disturbed?
No.
Is it... Why am I struggling to think? This
Keep
is
saying
ridiculous.
bands and you'll get it eventually. Keep saying famous rock
Like
bands.
90s, early 2000s.
Probably older. They're very, very famous.
I don't have a clue.
Like one of the big, very much one
Do you
of
wanna
the
just do
bigger
that?
sort of classic.
Oh, I don't know why my mind's blanking. This is absolute... Van Halen.
No, again, you're along the right lines,
Pink Floyd,
and
no,
you'll
that's
guess.
not metal.
You'll guess it eventually. You will get it eventually.
Papa Roach.
No,
Am I going in the wrong direction now?
I don't really know.
I'm trying to go through my old Spotify playlist, that's why. No. Okay.
Single word. Who will make up?
Oh, Kiss. Yeah.
Yeah, guess.
Ah,
So it
Oh,
was
yeah,
an afternoon
definitely.
with.
The bassist. Can't remember the names, but it seemed like him. Or the lead singer. I'm just going to name...
Alice Cooper.
Oh.
Okay.
An afternoon with Alice Cooper.
And then you
So
traded
not
that
Kiss.
for
Not
is
Kiss,
this,
but...
is this the final one?
That's cool.
No, there's still a couple more. This is a crazy one. This is objectively way lower, but also it's still linked to Kiss.
Oh, what,
A gig.
No, smaller.
one of the instruments used.
Smaller.
Oh.
Signed.
Kiss branded
Something
makeup.
signed.
Kiss branded
Kiss
face
branded something.
Clothes.
No, but you're along the right line with merch.
Well,
One of those sound.
one of those things.
No. A snow globe.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Motorised snow globe.
Why? Oh, it must be
Okay.
vintage. So
Then he
rare.
traded that for.
Because you've gone from
Yep.
snowmobile.
the snowmobile to Alice Cooper to a snow globe.
You
The
could have
next
gone.
one's
You could have gone
crazy.
from pen to kiss snow
Is
globe.
it like really expensive? The next one.
Yeah. This is less of a physical thing. This is more of another contract
An
type thing.
apartment.
No.
Yeah.
Keys to
No. More abstract than like a keys to something. Think along the same lines as the recording contract.
So like the rights to
an account for something.
land property,
No.
like property owning.
Think similar industries to
Okay,
the recording contract.
Oh, was it like IOU sometime on like a radio?
Is it like a record deal?
Not quite. Sam was probably slightly closer.
Owning a
Was it
record
like
company?
something to get on TV?
Potentially on TV.
Owning a record company?
No.
Part of like join someone on TV or radio or something.
Oh, this
A
is
role in a
difficult.
film.
Wow.
Close enough.
A small role in the film Donna on Demand, which, for the record,
Didn't do too well, I'm assuming.
let's see if I can. It doesn't even talk about reception,
Wow. So yeah, it was that bad.
presumably.
That unholy.
But the guy, to be fair, the guy that he traded it to has got some other big roles. Done on LA Law.
Okay, so what did he trade that for? How many more things have we got to the final thing?
This is the last one.
Mansion.
So what-
Did he trade it for a house?
he traded it
Yeah.
for a 2-story farmhouse in Saskatchewan.
I knew that was the last
What,
bit.
like renting or?
Own, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, because I remember hearing that, and that's what they told us at NCS. Some guy traded a red paperclip for a house.
And
How
that
long that
That's
would take?
crazy.
Imagine if you did that. And just
I don't even know
And
who won that. I
here's
think
the,
it was
the
Sam.
final thing. The final thing I want to ask. His site received a considerable. He did it on the website. He's saying a lot of people have been asking how I've stirred up so much publicity around the product, and my simple answer is
He traded for it.
that would be perfect.
He dropped a bottle on the floor. No.
He all the people he traded with told everyone about it. No.
No.
Oh, this is what? So how he got this? So
How much he got so
How
He wrote a book, didn't he?
In his opinion,
he does not know.
Oh, right.
his exact quote was, a lot of people have been asking how I've stirred up so much publicity around the product, and my simple answer is, I have no idea.
Fair enough.
Oh right.
That's crazy.
That was a good
I
one.
wonder how many paper clips are on Craigslist now.
Probably a lot.
Yeah, I feel like
Oh.
if you wanted to do that, you can't anymore because.
You could probably get quite far just walking around doing it in town. I mean, I did.
What did you do?
We started with a red paperclip, exchanged it for a load of stuff, and
What did you end up with?
I can't. It was like I think we ended up with one of them was we ended up with a few things. One was a makeup kit.
Right.
I can't remember. There was something else. See, the key, if you want to end up with more than one thing, the key or a good idea is to trade it for multiple items, like a set. I think one of the things we had was a set of fake red roses, I think from Beals or something. One of the things, and then we separated out the flowers and gave them away in like small groups, so we got more than one thing.
Yeah.
And then eventually you can either keep going on offer free separate.
That would be a
chains or
cool.
bring them
That'd be a cool video. You know how like when Tom Scott went into London to try and see how many like news.
Oh,
things-
breaking the news.
What we could like that would be a cool thing. Is like we get like 3 camera people and we get us and we go into
See
different
who
like
you get the most
towns.
valuable thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the
Right,
end
should we
of the
move on
day.
to the main focus of
Well,
the
actually,
episode?
hang on. Because last episode we said that Sam was going to tell us about the story about how he almost joined a cult. So
Did not join a
Yes,
cult.
we're going to start off because this is linked to. Okay,
I've been
one red
intrigued, haven't-
paperclip was talked about on a website. Sam found another website.
Is that your segue?
That is
Yes.
my segue. That's what I'm
How
rolling.
many segue stars do you give that segue?
like that was at least a 5.
Yeah,
Is this
that
out of-
was,
is
I
that
like
10?
6. I like 6.
that was not the
Bit-
best segue. Was it, really?
I've done better. I've done better.
So,
Okay, right.
what you mean by Sam joined a cult was a few years ago, Sam heard from the TV show Friends that
Oh, I didn't realise this is where the story started. That's even worse.
that apparently you can become a minister online on certain websites. So I looked it
Oh.
up, and apparently I'm ordained by University Life Church. Go check it out.
And if University Life Church doesn't sound like a cult or at best a sect,
Yeah.
in America anyone can be licensed to perform marriages.
In a certain amount of
Yeah.
states, I can marry people and do other things.
It doesn't make you an ordained minister.
No, well, not in England.
I wonder how easy is it to start a cult?
I mean,
all
I'm
you
not
need
going to
is
give it a
website,
go.
right?
But
Yeah, all you
then-
need is a leaflet and a website, really.
And
And
a
then
and a photocopier.
maybe you can make a book if you want.
Yeah, you need a book, a charismatic leader.
I mean, like we could write
No,
a book
you
of just
don't actually need a charismatic
random
leader.
stuff.
You
Yeah,
just
but
need.
it helps.
You can have rumours of a charismatic leader.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point. You make
We
Why
all follow the rare horned otter, the unicorn otter.
because what we could do
Or the unicorn
is just
otter.
like write a book, the three of us, of really like random stupid belief systems. Come up with a pseudonym for the three of us, and then release the book and then
I
see
have a
like
horrible feeling.
50 years into the future if someone picks that up and we have like a small following, because that could happen.
Are we burying a fake holy book in a time capsule now?
Yes.
Yeah, 600 years in the 600 like 7,000 or maybe like 2,000 years in the future. We have found this book from an unknown religion that must have been ancient. We must now decipher it and try and figure out what it means.
Because we could screw with time. We could screw with we could screw with the year 4000 equivalent version of Time Team.
I mean, and then again, you could also just make like a fake newspaper and put that in a time capsule as well about loads of
Yeah,
weird
that's true.
random stuff happening.
Isn't that basically just Breitbart?
Oh, really?
Anyway, we need to talk about technology.
Yes,
That's the topic
technology.
today.
Websites and technology. We're talking about technology.
Well, the funny
that was
thing,
the three.
The reason
that
my
was the three
phone went
segments.
off recently was because I did something funny that was meant to kind of happen during the podcast. Was I scheduled a message to send to myself saying automated laziness, which is a term I came up with. I came up with this term called automated laziness
Right.
for when humans automate small tasks that are really easy to do, and
Okay,
it's
life
purely
hacks.
because they're lazy.
Yeah.
Like sending messages to people. Well, that's because I'm forgetful. Forgetful is different to lazy, but because they can't be bothered to get up and get a beer, so they build a robot to get them a beer,
Right.
even though it's more effort to build a robot. They're
Yeah, it's true.
that lazy. I mean, that's what humans do. I mean, I know this isn't strictly to do with technology, but it's just to display how lazy humans are. They would spend 10 minutes looking for a car parking space that's near to the door of, like, say, a supermarket, when there are loads of car parking spaces just a short walk away. And they could
Yeah,
have
but
gone
a
in
short walk away
instantly.
with bags is not. If as someone who has to do their own shopping, I could.
Oh no, some
could
people,
appreciate
some
that.
people
If only
go
there
in
was,
there
like,
to
some
only get
sort
one
of-
thing, or not even to buy anything, just to have a look and
If
or
only
to
there
pick
was-
up someone or something like that.
If
And
only
they
there
will-
was like some sort of like almost vehicle that you could push around, and there's like a basket in front,
That would be good.
like
What-
some sort of cart for shopping.
Oh, they had like wheels on.
Yeah.
Like made of metal that you could put.
We
like,
found-
So you
bags
could put your
inside.
bags in, so you don't have
To
to
be
carry
fair,
them all.
we did find a trolley when
That's
we
what
were
we
filming.
called it.
When we were
Oh, yeah,
filming,
that's a good idea.
When I was filming one of my projects at university, we were just walking from one location to another. We did a bit of filming in a park, and then we were doing the main filming at a house. And on the walk, we found it on like a grassy bank,
A
a
trolley.
Tesco trolley. So we filmed some shots in it.
Fair.
I've always
Can't
wanted
remember
to
if
turn
they
a
made it
shopping
for the
trolley. I've always
film,
wanted to
but-
steal a shopping trolley and turn it into like a go-kart.
So if you attach your camera to the end of the trolley and move it around, would that technically be called a trolley shot?
Mhm.
It's a dolly shot. It's a bad pun. It's a very good pun actually. I'm not going to call that a bad pun. Thank you, Sam.
Technology.
Technology is.
Let's go around and say our opinions on the
Actually, no,
changes and increases in technology
no,
over
Sam.
the time.
Let's do it all at once.
3, 2, 1.
It's good.
Well,
Good.
I actually don't
I
think
think
it's
was
really.
it's brilliant. Actually.
I thought Adam was going to talk
Yeah.
at length as well, but he didn't. So let's go around and say our opinions on the advancement and changes in technology over the recent.
What do you
periods.
mean by that though?
Like how technology has changed and grown and stuff, and all the things that have happened to technology over the past
Well, to be
like,
fair,
10 years.
again,
Quite
this is.
scary.
I think as we're recording this, the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas, I want to say, is going on in Las Vegas.
Oh,
And there's been some really cool stuff. I know there's one company called Synaptics who are showing off a phone with a inbuilt display fingerprint scanner.
Oh.
So unlike what you have with most phones, where you'll have a fingerprint scanner in a home button or on the back, it's at the bottom of the screen,
Oh wow.
and that's incredible.
Yeah.
We have.
What about if they made it the entire screen so you could put your thumb anywhere?
Well, they haven't done that yet.
They could.
They essentially how
It'd just be a membrane.
well, at least essentially how this one works is it is a scanner that's at the bottom screen that is positioned in a way so it can see through the gaps between the subpixels,
Right.
and then is self-illuminated by the screen itself, so it can see the fingerprint and
Okay.
read off that.
That's quite cool.
So that's why it's quite in a specific space, because that's how it works. There are other ways to do it. I know Qualcomm are working on one that uses infrared
Okay.
technology. Don't know how well it works because that isn't finished yet, but it's cool.
I think some of the advances in technology are cool and useful and things like self-driving cars.
Mm.
It could be if they obviously they're extremely dangerous. If they got them to work, that'd be really cool.
But to be fair, right, most of the accidents that self-driving cars are getting into don't have a whole lot to do with the self-driving cars.
The problem with self-driving cars is if you change like half of the cars that are out in the world to self-driving cars, then it's not going to decrease the accidents because there's still human error. But if you like just overnight, which is practically impossible, changed every single car for a self-driving car and linked them all up to some supercomputer so that they would all accelerate at the same time from a red light, so they would all stop at the same time, so you didn't even really need traffic lights or anything,
Okay.
then it would work really well. And you would actually get less traffic, because I saw this video a while ago about how when a traffic light changes, the first person accelerates and the one behind and the one behind, etc., etc. But if they were all to accelerate at the same time, at the same speed, more people would get through before the traffic light changed.
Right.
And that's if you had every single car was a self-driving car hooked up to one hub, then it would work well and it would work properly, because you wouldn't even need traffic lights, and you might not even need them to stop apart from pedestrians, because they could just drive at certain speeds and things, so that they kind of do, as you see in some films or programs, where they kind of all overlap and like go past and fit through gaps and stuff. Obviously there's a little bit of error depending on the weight of what's inside the car, which changes the speed, blah blah blah, physics and science. But still, if every single car was a self-driving car hooked up to a giant hub that they could all talk to, then there would be no accidents caused by the cars. It would just be pedestrians or cyclists.
That's a thought, actually. If we're sticking on transport technology for a while, if that was how it worked, would there be any need to own a car? Would cars just work like buses? Would that just be part of public transport?
You see,
Yeah, there could be like a
Would
grid.
private ownership of vehicles
There are
be
probably-
irrelevant?
I think a
probably
grid
loads
of
of
trams.
people that are
maybe.
listening at the moment are
Yeah,
screaming
because-
at us. You could never do that because of the government couldn't afford it. Blah blah blah. Just as a little point, a little pinch of salt here, that all the things we're going to be talking about, all these theories are, regardless of how the cost and stuff.
Are entirely hypothetical.
Yeah, because I remember my mum and I were talking about, I can't remember what it was, talking about, I was talking to my dad about space travel and stuff, and everything I said, he would say, no, that would never work because it'd be way too expensive, and all this stuff, and he finds it really
I
hard
hate
to,
people like that.
he finds
Just
it
like,
really
duh.
hard to,
Yeah.
hyperthesize.
Hypothesize, is that right?
Hypothesize.
Yeah, that
That's the one.
Thank you.
He finds it really hard to hypothesize
You said that at exactly the
about
same
things
time.
because he's like, oh no, that would cost the government too much money.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. You can do it sometimes, but yeah. So all the stuff we're talking about, just as a disclaimer, is regardless of cost. I reckon if you changed all the cars for self-driving cars and the government paid for each of the cars, then whether you would own the car or, I guess you wouldn't need a car, but maybe that's how it works. Maybe you'd have some sort of app or something like Uber, and you press it, and then it would say closest car to you is 5 minutes away, and then it would, and you'd specify I need one with so many passengers, and you'll say the closest one is so and so, and then it'd turn up, and then you'd get in, and you'd set the destination.
I like
probably
that.
beforehand.
I like
so
that
you-
as a system.
But the issue is, yes, money's an issue, but we're ignoring that. The other issue is the changeover. You couldn't do it bit by bit. You couldn't change
That's true.
one set of cars and another bit and another bit and another bit, because you'd have to change every
It
single
wouldn't
car all at
work
once.
it would work as a staggered rollout.
It's like it's like the tills, the automated tills, they can integrate them slowly. They could have, if they wanted to, changed all of them at once. Customers would have been happy, but with them, it's okay.
I feel like it wouldn't work necessarily because there's no human interaction. With an Uber, with public transport, it's because it's public that people disrespect it. Because it's not owned by anyone but the government, so people could leave their litter in the car.
Yeah.
They could leave something absolutely disgusting in that car, and then who's going to clean that up?
You would have to have... So that maybe it would be better if people bought their own automated car, whether it be from one company or the other, and it was and it synced to the hub that probably Google...
Instead of just, like, if you wanted to go somewhere, instead of just you with a car, because you can do whatever you want in there, like maybe trams... Like a grid of trams or something.
Yeah, but then again, you still have to. They'd have to stop for people to clean them out. Whereas if
no, there could be like someone there, like
if you
authority that's just paid to sit there.
Yeah, like if all the cars on the market were different makes and different styles and stuff, but they were all hooked up to the hub and could not be unlinked. And if you unlinked them by hacking or something, the car would just shut down. They would have to build that into it somehow. Then. That would fix the problem. You wouldn't have to have any cleaners or anything, because it would just be like today. You clean your own car, you get it fixed yourself if you had an accident, but there wouldn't be many accidents, and stuff like that. And you customize it yourself, but you wouldn't have to drive it because it's a driverless car. Like the Teslas that drives themselves, they're not owned by the company. Don't give them to you and say, here's a car for you. You have to buy it, and they don't clean it for you and stuff. You have to pay for it. So that's what I think it would be.
Right.
But yeah, again, the switchover would have to be all at once, which is pretty close to impossible.
To be honest, if we're talking about the future, could there just be a button that says vaporize all the rubbish?
Yeah, I guess probably.
Just lasers and like.
That's another section of technology that not many people consider. Everyone's talking about automated homes, driverless cars, stuff like that.
I'm looking forward to. I'm so looking forward to the point where we can have a conversation with our living room.
Though the only issue, one of the biggest issues, I mean, there's a few.
Robots aren't going to take over the world.
No, that's not the issue I'm talking about. One of the biggest issues with automated homes and having all your light switches and your door locks and stuff connected to a big hub is hackers.
Yeah.
If someone could sit outside your house or just down the road and break in and hack their way into your light bulb and then get all your like PIN numbers and stuff because it's connected to your computer, that's the only issue.
Hack into your light bulb.
That's it. That's literally
the security.
I like that.
Thing is, as that technology improves, the security. I do understand that as an argument, but the problem is, well, not the problem is. The problem with that as a point is, security will improve as well.
True.
Yeah, but then you have to also think
like a firewall.
If there are people that are smart enough to come up with extremely smart firewalls, then there are people smart enough to come up with ways to break through the firewalls. It's a constant balance. It's like in the body, right? There's a battle that's always going on between viruses and stuff and your white blood cells. It's called the Red Queen hypothesis. Long story, I won't explain it. But basically, as bacteria evolve, your immune system evolves to be able to fight it, and the bacteria evolves another cunning little way, and then your body catches up, and it's a constant fight of them doing one thing, you overcoming it, and that's what it would be for all the fancy security for all the new tech, whether it's automated homes, self-driving cars, or what, is people come up with really new inventive firewalls, and then out on the black web or dark web or something, someone will come up with a way to break through it, and then they'd have to come up with a new way to cover up that, and that's already happening at the moment with Google and Samsung. It's been going on forever, and it still will.
Do what they could probably, the company that run the like self-driving cars or do all this security stuff.
That's
could
also
do like they could do a, what was that film with Leonardo DiCaprio and that Come Catch Me or something? No, you can't.
Catch Me If You Can.
Nice.
Catch Me If You Can, with the one where you counterfeit checks.
Yeah.
That you could hire the hackers to try and like say, "Oh, I'll pay you money if you're on our side."
I think they actually do that. They get coders and they pay them to see if they can hack into the system, like they do, like game testers.
To say like, "Oh, you know how the system works. You know how to break into it. So why don't you
code the firewall for us?"
Yeah, so that no one can.
Yeah, I think that's...
So as I was saying,
and we'll give you money for it.
When people talk about technology in the future, they talk about self-driving cars, automated homes, extremely fast and computers, advanced AI, stuff like that. But some of the things they don't consider, they also talk about space travel. We'll get onto that in a bit. One thing they don't consider
I'm sure we will,
is the other side of technology. I'm not talking when I say like kind of environmental technology,
Mm.
like not just things that like clean up the air, because people talk about air scrubbers quite often, and like things that sweep the ocean for rubbish, but also ways of disposing of rubbish. People don't normally talk about that often because obviously you can't. Burning it's very bad for the environment and stuff, but there is actually quite a lot of research going on currently into better ways of getting rid of rubbish. Whether it's because I mean, the easiest answer is to move it from one place to another, like move it some barren planet, drop it all off, and then
the sun.
Yeah, fly into the sun. I think
Just
that's actually been considered for like rubbish and
Catapult.
also like.
The world's most powerful catapult.
Well, no, if they manage to,
into the sun.
It's called a rocket.
Oh no, because then you're wasting so much money on a rocket just to fly into the sun.
Again, if money is no object,
no, but
then loading up a
thinking
rocket
about
with
it
nuclear
logically.
waste and rubbish and flying it to the sun would be the perfect answer.
I know, but you got to think about like logically.
Logically, if money is a object, which unfortunately
I'm just saying, like
that's not an option.
It'll be a bit more like to have like a cannon or something. So all you have to spend the money on is the explosives that are powerful enough.
But then again, that's also making the thing is actually probably as expensive as making.
Yeah, but then you don't have to spend much money making a rocket every single time you want to.
But then again, you do have to spend money cleaning the thing, getting it ready to shoot again, which probably wouldn't be as expensive as a rocket.
Just a pressure washer.
Yeah, I mean, you would need a very powerful cannon to launch a huge chunk of rubbish out of the atmosphere. And
I mean, of course, the problem is getting it out. Getting it out of the atmosphere. Once it's out of the Earth's core, you can just let it drift.
Yeah, and then just hope that it doesn't land on like Mercury or something.
Do you know what? Just okay, there we go. We'll just use the rocket thing, fly it up, get it in orbit. And then just like as it lines up with the sun, just get like a team of astronauts just like lob the rubbish towards the sun.
Set up the ISS and they spend all day.
Woo!
Yeah, I mean that
throwing all the rubbish.
That is like if you could
Visual gags again.
Sorry.
I was pretending to throw rubbish.
Yeah.
If making an entire planet polluted was not an issue, then we could just get reusable spacecrafts to fly not to Mars because we want to live on Mars one day. Elon Musk does anyway. But,
just him.
Just Elon Musk on his own. Like,
He steps
I said
outside.
I could do it.
He said he steps outside his front door. My kingdom.
until someone else shows up, like Bill Gates or something.
Yeah, I feel like the Outer Space Treaty will be valid for exactly as how long as it actually takes someone to get to Mars.
Yeah.
And get the technology.
You can buy plots on the moon as well, right?
Yeah, but you can't.
You can, but you don't
can
actually
buy
own
a
it.
piece of paper saying
it's called
you
a
own
scam.
this bit of the moon.
It's like
it's
those
called a
stars.
scam,
You now
so.
own this star.
No.
And so do
or
500 other
naming
people. Yeah.
But yeah, if littering on a planet was an option, then all you would have to do is build a warp core, build a reusable spaceship with a warp core on it, find a decent sized planet, possibly one that disintegrates the rubbish might be more useful, and then just constantly fly, drop a load of nuclear waste and rubbish on them and fly back, and then you can use nuclear energy. Well, that's one of the issues of nuclear energy.
One with creatures that eat
anything.
Yeah, they can just.
So what you're saying is we basically have spaceships crewed with humans and a goat.
Yeah.
and we just fly, drop all the rubbish off on the planet, fly back, and then we could use
the Leviathan that's living in one of the oceans with the goat, and then just like as it comes up to try and eat the goat, just like lump all the trash in its mouth. Leviathan being a sea creature.
People would kick off about that though. Because vegans would get annoyed at it.
Some like Leviathan creature. Oh no!
Giant kraken. Well, that's the cool thing I found out. This is kind of technology.
Hello?
Sea technology. Yeah. What they've done recently is they got an old derelict World War II boat, built a giant steel kraken on the back of it, and have sunk it off the coast of the British Virgin Islands to use it as a growing bed for a coral ecosystem.
That's so cool.
It looks amazing as well. Like it's a massive, like transparent steel octopus.
That's so cool.
Like bigger than a boat.
That's amazing.
So we've covered automated homes, self-driving cars,
Vegans being angry at some otherworldly Leviathan.
environmental technology. What about? Although AIs. I mean, this is very similar.
All we need now is another Skynet reference. I think what bingo.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
We should do that.
Yeah.
AIs. We should talk a bit about AIs because they are something that's been
Right.
that's not
AI is
uprising.
2 episodes running.
Yeah.
Less. I'm looking forward to it. I've got an Amazon Echo device downstairs.
If it's
fun.
regulated, I think.
Yeah, because obviously there's always the constant moral panic of, oh no, they're gonna take over the world.
They won't.
I feel like because people are going to say to shut them down because they're like learning and things, that's unethical. If they're going to think that, call me. I'll be the one to flick the switch because I don't believe that.
There's the 3 questions to see whether. Oh no, that's the test. I think the 3 questions is to test if someone's a robot or not. Is have you ever harmed a human? Have you ever let someone harm a human? And what's the last one?
You're thinking of Asimov.
Yeah.
Asimov laws of robotics.
Yeah, what's the last one?
It's I believe it is.
Have you ever harmed a human? Have you ever let harm come to a human?
Well, it's not a test. It's a set of
rules.
It's a set of rules that a robot has to follow, according to Isaac Asimov.
A sci-fi author.
Yeah.
And though, let's have a quick question.
Brilliant sci-fi author at that, but.
Yeah, a robot may not injure a human being or through an action allow a human being to come to harm. A robot must obey orders given to it by human beings except where such orders conflict with the first law, and a robot must protect its own existence as long as such protection doesn't conflict with the first or second laws.
Yeah.
Which actually is a practical...
Yeah.
It's genuine, he's clearly thought that through. Again, as you said, incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible.
If you programmed an extremely advanced AI that was smarter than the smartest human, and in its programming put those 3 laws, what do you think the chances are that it would find some loophole in order to avoid those laws and then wipe out humanity? Like, honestly,
I don't think it would.
Because
could
they're
it?
pretty
Hypothetically.
What loophole is there? Don't harm humans. What loophole is there to that rule?
I don't know. You see, that's the thing. Depending on how advanced the AI is, will depend on how accurately it follows the rules. Because in Space Odyssey 2001, HAL, the computer HAL 9000, the AI, the reason it malfunctions, well, they say the reason it malfunctions and kills all the humans is because it had a conflicting argument. There were like 2 things that it couldn't decide which one to follow. I can't remember what they were. There was like, I can't remember, something to do with keeping a secret about the obelisk and stuff. But anyway, HAL had like 2 options and it couldn't decide between them. And I'm pretty sure what the guy that made HAL said was that he panicked. The robot panicked and couldn't decide what to do. So it did what it thought best was right and tried to kill off everyone.
So bearing in mind how old that book is.
True.
No,
is it older than Asimov?
If you program an advanced
Publishing.
enough robot and put the 3 rules into it to say do not break any of these rules, and you put it all over the code, if it got a conflicting argument, unless you coded for it to shut itself down when it got a conflict.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe the 4th rule is shut down if there's a conflicting argument.
Yeah, but then how often would it shut down? You'd have to reboot it.
Okay, to be fair, 2001 is Runaways, which is the anthology that Asimov set out the 3 laws in, does predate 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Okay.
Runaways was 42, Space Odyssey was 60.
2 different authors, 2 different universes. I don't think Asimov wrote those rules to be.
No.
He to be like law. He just wrote them so that he had rules to write the AI.
Yeah. Everyone panics that if you build an advanced AI, it will realise that humanity is the issue and then kill off everyone.
Oh yeah.
Now
people that believe
the funny thing here is that when humans say that, they're actually admitting the fact that humans are the problem, and they know.
Yeah. No, there definitely are people that believe that.
And,
that is the case.
But we're talking about technology. But so if you programmed a robot, I reckon that no matter how hard you try, even with the 3 rules and stuff, there would still be some way, not a malfunction, but some logical loophole that allowed the robot to kill off all of humanity should something go wrong, like there be a conflicting argument like in HAL or something, somehow that it would break the rules, and you might not realise you might not even be something you've coded. It might, like if you build a smart enough robot that codes itself, then it might code something way to get around the rules.
It could even remove the rules entirely if that's the case.
Depends. I mean, that's what happens in I can't remember. There are some sci-fi films where the robots code themselves and learn stuff, and then that's what leads them to, like in Avengers: Age of Ultron.
I knew that Avengers was going up.
They set up Ultron to protect the world, and he just did the straightforward thing that most robots do, and thought, I need to kill all the humans and restart the planet.
I'm not convinced.
Just kind of like Skynet did.
I'm not convinced that wouldn't quite simply not happen.
Because I mean,
as far as an actual AI is concerned, I don't.
Protecting the planet. I mean, like,
if
you'd have to get rid of animals as well, because cows, like, one of the biggest pollution things are cows farting in a field. So they'd have to.
Best thing I've heard anyone say all day.
That is, yeah.
It is, but it's so they'd have to like wipe out life on the planet.
Well, as far as a computer's concerned, if it wiped out all life and then built robotic machinery that didn't produce dangerous emissions, then surely it would fix all the problems.
Couldn't you code like loyalty? So like, say we coded you, be respectful of that.
But the thing is, if you built an extremely advanced AI like Ultra or Skynet, and you gave it all the tools it needed to make more robots and produce robots of its own kind, and you programmed the free rules into it and told it not to harm humanity, and then said to it, I want you to figure out how to fix all the world's problems, I reckon that would lead to a conflicting argument, because it would go, fix all the world's problems, how do I do that? Wiping out all life and starting again is the easiest. And then it'll go, I can't kill humans. And it'll be like, but
it can't. Well, if you've just got like a computer screen, well, how is that going to wipe out humanity?
No, like
in practical aspect
in Skynet,
because it can't just like build a Gatling gun on the side.
No, that's what happens. That's exactly what happens in Skynet and in Age of Ultron. They
yeah, but there's a film.
What? Damn it! You told my joke.
Sorry.
I was going to be like whispering it into his ears.
Oh, there's a film.
Fine, you got
no, but I mean,
sorry.
if someone, I mean, you've seen there are already computers out there that build other computers.
Right.
If one of them was an artificial intelligence, and you said, I want you to build a computer that fixes this problem, and it does loads of programming, scans the entire internet, figures out something, and builds a computer to do this. And you say, I want you to build me a gun that's really good at destroying tanks, and it builds the best gun for tanks and stuff. And then you said, okay, now that you know how to build stuff, I want you to build
mix
stuff.
the two together.
I want you to build something to save the world and riddle all these problems. And you gave it a list of problems like the environment and
a mega nuclear time bomb.
I mean, maybe
isn't that just Donald Trump?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe we're all just too self-obsessed. Maybe there is another way to fix.
Yeah.
Maybe there's another way to fix the world without destroying all life. Maybe a computer will actually go, actually no, I don't need to destroy all life and break my rules. I can actually just...
It creates like an atomized spray that just like pieces out brains.
The robot just...
Or like,
are you basically...
Instead of killing all life...
a robot that just spreads like...
Love.
I was going to say weed, but...
Oh, right. Well, no, how about like...
The robot just enslaves everyone with mind
like
control.
The Matrix.
Yeah. The robot just
so the problems
everyone.
Aren't in the world, they're in a simulation. Maybe that's already happened and we're already in a simulation.
Can we talk about the simulation argument? Is that technology, Adam?
I think
should we move on to that?
Yeah.
Or wait,
I think it's a bit
or should we talk about should we talk about space travel first?
Space travel is more interesting.
That's technology.
I'm just going to go for the just quickly the simulation argument. It's stupid.
Yeah.
We're not. End of story.
We won't go there.
There's some guy behind the computer like,
It doesn't necessarily matter if we do, if we even are. It doesn't matter.
In the
space travel,
science, philosophy and psychology. Science, psychology.
The one that you guys are doing without me.
The podcast that Taylor and I are doing.
It was his idea.
That we've been wanting to do for years.
I'm going to do a podcast by myself. I'm in 3.
Yeah.
One with less and less
we
people.
probably talk about the simulation argument eventually.
Probably.
But yeah.
Space travel's great. I'm excited to see what happens because there's one. Because the thing that excites me is one really basic fact that, in theory, the warp drive laid out by Gene Roddenberry in Star Trek is scientifically feasible.
Yeah.
The science, as far as we're aware, holds up. The only issue we've got is at this point in time is collecting and storing antimatter.
Oh, using antimatter to pull the rest of the universe around you.
How a warp drive works is it collides matter and antimatter to create a bubble of warped space around a ship, which is then able to move inside which time moves at a different speed to the rest of the universe. That's how it works.
What do you think would be more feasible, warp drive or teleportation? Or quantum entanglement? Or wormholes?
Well, we know
wormholes exist.
All methods of transport.
Warp drive.
Sure.
I mean, yeah, because you need like I think it's around 386 or some number that involves a 3, 8, and a 6. I think you would need that equivalent amount of mass of that amount times the Earth worth of mass. So you need 386 Earths worth of mass to keep open a meter wormhole with a diameter of 1 meter. Wow. Because wormholes are trying to pull themselves inwards, and you need loads of mass to keep them open. That's how a black hole works as well, but wormholes are slightly different, I think.
There's no spaghettification here in these wormholes.
Because a wormhole is like a point that connects two spaces in time, blah, blah, blah. But if humans can figure out a way to produce wormholes, target them to another area and keep them open, then that would be a feasible way of transport through space.
Yeah.
And it would be faster than a warp drive, probably.
Yeah, well,
because it's instant. Well, we don't know, obviously. But then again, there's also apparently time travel is feasible. So that's, I guess, although it's not really a method. You see, if you had time travel, and if you had like a method of transport, or like that's quite fast, right? What you could do is you could travel from like our solar system to another solar system with some really powerful thrusters, go into hypersleep, and then eventually you get there. Then what you could do is travel back in time to the current spot just after you left.
Yeah.
Wait, no, I did this wrong. You travel from our solar system to another solar system.
Yeah.
Whilst being in hypersleep. Then, before you actually leave, you wouldn't have to travel. You just time travel to when you arrived there, if you get what I mean. And you wouldn't actually have to fly there in the first place, because you'd already be there in the future.
But if you're in hypersleep, how are you going to time travel? What? That's confused me, dude. I can't keep up with you.
You get in a rocket and you leave Earth.
Yeah.
And you do that once, but then you actually don't do that. But before you leave Earth, you time travel to yourself in the future, where you are. You like warp time, and you go to where you are.
I can't keep up with you, Sam.
Don't worry.
I think you're making
Never
no sense.
mind.
I can grasp a vague idea, but
like no, it's not time traveling. It's fast forwarding time more. You skip to where you are in the future.
Yeah, but you'd just be sitting where you are, fast forwarding time.
It's don't worry.
Because if you decide to fast forward time, you're not going to then move to the ship, and then I don't know.
Anyway, so there are many feasible ways for fast not interdimensional. That's something completely different. Fast methods of transport through space. What other interesting things interest you to do with space?
Oh, space. What to do with technology, obviously.
Do you think they'll ever set up like colonies on the moon? Why?
Yes.
Oh, obviously.
I mean, well, obviously, if money's no object.
There are two issues, as far as I'm aware, which is, well, the two things that humans need to live.
Oh yeah, I see what you mean.
We need water and we need air. Air, I think,
both
is
of which are
feasible.
And gravity. No, I think
you can live.
There's probably enough. I don't know if there's enough gravity for you to live on the moon.
I think gravity is a sixth of. I think relative gravity on the moon is a sixth.
Yeah, but is that enough for you to survive?
It's enough for you to survive. It's just enough for you to jump about 5 meters in the air.
Because birds can't survive in zero gravity because they require gravity to pull the food through down their throat and stuff. Certain birds.
I don't think we do.
No, that's okay. We'll just we swallow our food and then jump.
Because we use our internal organs use
true,
peristalsis to move things down and around. So I don't know whether we
like-
can survive in zero.
Well,
G
birds,
or not.
they'll just learn and evolve to do
I assume
is just
we
swallow
can
them.
survive in zero G because
that's the
it's,
thing.
there's zero G on the space station.
Yeah,
No, here's the thing though.
because it's in space,
Well, here's the thing.
and they have air on the space station.
Yeah, because they
Wouldn't birds
pump it out,
quickly,
liquid oxygen,
if we did have
don't
birds
they?
there, we could quickly evolve them to have those muscles. in there.
Evolving does not work like that unless we genetically engineer them.
Exactly, there we go.
Oh, yeah, you can't just like
Hey,
quickly go through a million
We
species
don't- to be
of
fair,
birds.
we
So
don't-
you were the one
birds
talking
are-
about speeding up time, Sam.
this started off as colonies on colonies of the moon. Now it's
But like
can we
farms.
make space birds?
Space chicken?
Space chicken.
SFC? Space fried chicken.
You just
No.
fry bits of
MFC,
chicken
moon
space.
fried chicken.
Yeah, there you go.
Yum.
I'd eat that. MFC.
Isn't moon rock toxic?
Is it? Why? Oh, radiation. Right.
If it cuts you, then you're dead.
Well,
basically.
the idea wouldn't be that we were living on the moon. We'd be living in presumably like a biodome
Yeah.
That's another
Which is
interesting thing
located
about
on the moon.
space travel.
that happens to be on the moon.
Building spaceships in space.
Space dogs, yeah.
That's
how it works in Star Trek.
That would need to be a thing.
That's how it works in Star Trek,
Yeah.
apart from in the J.J. Abrams film where they, for some reason, decided to make the Enterprise on Earth, which is stupid because that's not how it works. That's never been how
It's a lot easier.
not how starships are made.
It is a lot easier to build spaceships in space because you don't have to use loads of pulleys and
Cranes.
things to get stuff over there. You just float it over there with a little bit of thrusters.
Yeah,
But it's also a lot harder because
everything floats away.
yeah.
The screw.
It's gone. If you couldn't, you
Just
can't
jump
see
after
obviously, but Adam was miming losing a screw in space.
Which is very funny. I'm very sorry
It
you
was
had to
good.
miss out on that joke.
We rate it a few mime stars.
No, I've got bingo because the last one I had was visual gag.
Did you actually?
It's just about the same as you, but I set mine up differently.
But yeah, I think another interesting thing that interests me to do with technology in space is a space elevator.
I like the idea of space elevator. I like the idea of space
Going-
elevator because I'm a Gundam fan.
Not-
that was in it.
Yeah, going
at
from
work.
the ground to in space to
Oh,
launch
right.
rockets from is quite
Wow,
fun.
there's someone at the door.
He hasn't paused it.
So I'm talking. There's someone at the door.
Yeah.
Oh no,
Caught to pick a bed up, ain't I? Is this the right place?
we're not selling a bed.
I'm
I'm
Traumatised Pineapple branded bed linen. Buy it now. Redbubble.com / traumatizedpineapple.com.
What are you guys doing?
I don't know.
Leave this in,
It's
Adam.
called improvisation.
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 What were we saying?
Space elevators.
elevators.
Space elevators, yes. I
Selling
think
beds in
space
space.
elevators could potentially be a good solution to an energy crisis.
Well, it depends how.
Energy crisis.
Solar collectors.
Oh, right, yeah.
You build.
Oh,
I will preface
Solar
this
farm in
one. I
space.
did get this idea from an anime,
Right.
but it seems relatively feasible. You do space elevators past the atmosphere, and have solar collectors on the top, and of course gigantic solar collectors.
and of course it would only charge
Well, it wouldn't be over the Earth.
half of the day when it comes around to face the sun.
I was
and then
going to
it's
say,
gone again.
You build multiple solar collectors.
Well, that's the thing. Then there's going to be.
Oh,
Is
I
it
know
over
what
the
you talk
Earth?
about after.
Because then there's going to be like shadows underneath those.
Yeah.
Be very dark.
So there'll just be like
Subway.
rectangles.
But if it's that, but
Oh no! Here comes the
as far
shadow.
as renewable energy
Put on
is
your coat.
concerned,
It just starts
that
snowing
seems,
underneath
it seems
it.
like a decent system.
There's just like a permanent snow cloud
The
underneath.
thing
there.
with a space elevator is, if money's no object,
That's a
it's-
lot of elevator music to have to have with.
It's like 13 hours of
No,
jazz.
I came up-
13 hours of crap.
I came up with. I didn't like drawing anyway because I'm bad at drawing. But I came up with in my mind a really good design for the actual elevator part. You see, what you do is you build into it a luxury
Yeah.
a luxury hotel with like a spa and some
It's a
like
big
sports
elevator.
areas and stuff. And you
And
build
essentially
into
it's an overnight elevator.
well, because it takes a long time to get it would take a long time to get there because you can't go like super fast because then you got all the G-force
and the depressure, like the
and the
pressures,
depressurization.
the like change in pressure that would kill you.
I don't know how long it takes to get out of the atmosphere if you're going in a rocket, but you can't go that fast because then you'd literally be like the whole time.
You can't play tennis like that.
Wouldn't you?
I don't know what would happen if there was a swimming pool. What would happen to the water?
I mean, would you prefer
to
take an elevator up to space that goes
or
slowly
go
so
really
you
viscous.
can enjoy the journey like a luxury hotel, or would you prefer to take one that takes about 5 minutes of like extremely fast G-force and then you get up there and you're like, oh, I'm in space now.
Now I can play tennis.
It'll work alright for the astronauts.
Maybe it'll be like a thing where it's like between this time and this time you can't use any of the facilities, just stay in bed. And then after that time, it's like, okay, please enjoy the floaty tennis and the putt.
Unless,
it's so
obviously
easy.
you couldn't have
There's
certain,
a hole on,
you can
in
have
the
certain
ceiling.
things because of the gravity. But if they had first came up with artificial gravity and then created the space elevator, then that would work even better. But the problem with a space elevator, besides money, is there is no material that's strong enough to man and easily mass producible that's strong enough to produce the shaft, the bit that goes through the bit that the elevator is attached to. Even carbon nanofiber tubes and stuff like that is not strong enough.
Spider webs are strong. You know, you get a spider web the thickness of a pencil, it can stop an aeroplane.
I feel like this is a reference to...
No, it's true. I'm just saying it.
But doesn't it depend on the type of spider web?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Because there is no material that's going to be strong enough to... Because it has to withstand asteroids that might fly into it.
That would make a cool sound, wouldn't it? If you're at the bottom. If you're at the bottom, you just hear the vibrations.
You put your hand on it.
Cause an earthquake!
Oh, yeah, true.
It has to also withstand lightning strikes, possibly, if it conducts electricity.
Yeah, that should be fun.
And,
yeah, you can have
use
that
you can
work
farm
away.
that would be...
Well, you could,
with
you
resistors
could, you
and
could
stuff.
farm that, and for that, you could essentially have
Transformers.
additional spires, which would, as lightning conductors, which would work.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want like someone just to touch like the tap on their hotel room.
And
their
I'm sure with
bathroom and get a massive electric
asteroids,
shock.
you could do something with a magnetic field.
Well, yeah, possibly. That's
Really
if they
strong
can.
one.
That's if they're not like if they contain metal, but that would work. But then also radiation as well. It has to be able to withstand loads of radiation, and also has to withstand the the winds and the temperature changes.
No, lead can't do that.
And I think the best option, because the other hard thing is attaching it to the ground.
Yeah.
They wouldn't. I think the video I watched, they said do it underwater because you can go straight into the bedrock, and you'd have to put it really deep under the ground so it was strong. And then you get up there, and there'd be a space station up there, and then you could launch spaceships off of there, or you could just live up in zero
I think
G.
in something that big, going up into space, you know, like with like metronomes and things, if you put the metronome towards the weight towards the top of the metronome, it goes slower.
Yeah.
I feel like if this elevator is at the top,
Then
the Earth's rotation's going to change by like quite drastically. If we're thinking about all this equipment and everything,
that's a fair point.
that will change the rotation quite drastically, which I don't know.
No, it depends
what
how
effect
many
that
and
would
exactly
have.
how big they were. Cause
Well, if Sam, like what Sam said, like an entire like bloody hotel and leisure centre, like a Disneyland going up into elevators,
and that's still...
and then all that stuff that's like containing that, and the stuff that's pulling it upwards and everything. When all that's at the
another
top.
If you
question.
had a
Getting it up
handful
and
of
down,
them
would
at
you
sort of
use rockets?
equidistant
Would you use a
intervals,
police
it
system?
would probably even itself out.
I mean, the question is...
Or just like a counterweight on the other opposite end of the
Yeah, just a really big skyscraper or another station. But yeah, another question is...
Well, yeah, another elevator.
Another
one's up, one's down. No, when they're both they're both going at the same time.
Or even more of
down,
that.
they're down. But when they're only halfway up, they're neither up nor down.
When they're only halfway up, they had to. Then they knew that we had a bit of an issue.
So
Yeah,
then,
so-
so if we had two on polar opposites,
That were synchronised to go up and down at
Yeah.
the same time. You're like, oh, I'm taking the east space elevator, please, to the so-and-so hub. Oh, okay, yeah, here's your ticket. Thank you.
sick.
But the only
then we can
problem
do
with that is
Disneyland
you'd
in
have to
space.
take... Because it would be out in the
Space
water,
resort,
so you'd
oh,
have to
that'd be
take
cool.
like a...
No, I'm liking the idea of
Disneyland in
of
space.
I don't know what I'm saying.
He's getting up again.
He's excited.
If you time it right, could you potentially have a roller coaster that would go up, and if you time it right, would just keep going?
I feel like that's a like roller coaster tycoon mod. Space.
Actually, I'll tell you what that is. That's our solution.
To do a space
A
elevator.
roller coaster.
space roller coaster.
launch
there we
it,
go.
and then just
Momentum.
leave it to drift up to the space station, and then it goes,
There we go.
locks it in.
Problem
and
solved.
welcome to the
There you go.
space
Elon Musk will be selling that to you for
Roller coaster.
several $1 million.
station. Elon Musk's
Billion,
roller coaster.
perhaps.
I think a space elevator would be
I'll
good.
give it. To
Yeah.
be fair, I haven't got enough. I'm the student. I haven't got enough money. I'll be honest. I'll take 50 quid in the toaster.
Take a pot noodle, mate. Lifetime supply.
No, but isn't Elon Musk too busy working on his thing that mines out tunnels and
The
turns
boring
into bricks?
company. I only got that pun about a week ago.
He's working on a tunnel bore that digs up the ground.
Yeah.
And
Is
turns
the
into
logo
bricks.
is their mascot like a wild pig?
I think their mascot's just Elon Musk.
And it turns,
Well, no,
turns
don't
all
you
the,
get it? The wild
turns all
pig
the
is
stuff
the
it
ball.
digs up into bricks to then use to build around the edge of the tunnel.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty cool. But yes, rounding up space elevators.
Rounding up
Obviously, there's the
technology,
problem
really,
of
Yeah.
ignoring. There's a problem of money, obviously, but we're ignoring that. There's the problem of something strong enough to do it.
Earth's
the
rotation,
Earth's
which we solved
rotation
with.
and the counterweight and making it entirely safe. Getting up there and getting back down again in terms of time and in terms of force.
Right.
Because you can't just drop it back down and let it be pulled into the atmosphere. You have to use massive thrust to slow it down, and stuff like that. But then again, it would be whether it would be beneficial to have a space elevator economically. I mean, I was talking about this to my dad, and I said, would building a space elevator eventually would you earn the money back because you wouldn't have to build such complex rockets to launch off the Earth's surface? You could launch them from there, which takes a lot less fuel. Like, you need half the rocket.
Yeah. I wonder what you'd have to trade for a paperclip to get to a space station.
Elevator.
Full circle.
Interesting.
That's a good.
That's great. I was just gonna say, just to wrap up, really like
We're running out
single
of time.
statement answer.
Yeah.
If you could take anything from science fiction, space fiction, and put it into real life, what would become real, regardless of actual logical ability, like practicality?
You just reminded me. That's another thing I wanted to talk
We
about.
don't have time to do another thing.
Yeah.
Have we hit 2 hours already?
We have
Creation
don't
of
have time to do
dimensions from Mist. Those books that you open and you can go into different dimensions.
it. Okay.
Because that just sounds cool.
That's
With
not like
infinite
magic.
dimensions.
I'm more thinking of science, like
That's gonna
technology.
solve-
That
that's-
sounds like
oh, yeah.
Magic is just science we don't understand.
Magic. Yeah.
I'll give it that stuff.
I really don't know. I mean, something I've been
Or like
looking into.
interdimensional
Something I've been
portals,
looking
that's
into
travel.
recently that I think is really cool is a Dyson sphere.
Yeah,
Sorry,
Dyson
Dyson bubble is the better one.
Isn't that just a brand of vacuum cleaner?
No, it's a
It's
a
Dyson
bubble of
sphere.
solar panels around a sun to produce energy.
That'll just block out the sun entirely.
That's the idea.
Which would work. Which wouldn't work in our solar system. Would work in a binary
Oh right, yeah.
sun system.
No,
You?
there's it would work if you
Come on.
Oh, we had gaps between, maybe.
yeah, it's instead of using a Dyson sphere, use a Dyson bubble and you separate them and you put them in a
Or a Dyson
stationary
ring.
orbit, so they're not all moving; they're just stationary.
So
a
there.
Dyson
a
ring.
Dyson sphere is basically a planet built around the sun.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean that's less
Which is cool.
feasible
What about
than
you?
a Dyson bubble.
Things like I want to be really predictable.
Wait, no, I changed my answer. Personal Death Star.
Just
Carry on.
one. You get assigned a Death Star at birth. Anyway, your turn.
No, very empty.
I don't know what.
Echo.
Part of me wants to say like mecha. Like I'm a big mecha anime fan. I'm a big Gundam fan.
Oh,
I would
right.
love to see
I
that
just-
kind of thing like
I
done in
thought-
real life.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean the robots from Pacific Rim?
Yes.
Or
Like,
do you mean the
less insane than
place
Pacific Rim.
or the
but-
place where loads of religious people go? The big cube.
But possibly mobile suits. Save that.
That'd be cool.
Genuinely good interstellar
That
travel.
makes space.
Wait, I
travel
want to change
cool.
my answer again.
Oh, for goodness sake!
I need the toilet, Sam. Hurry up.
Rick's portal gun.
That's what I was saying.
I thought you were going to say I don't know why, but what I thought you were going to say was a Rick rolling machine.
Where you can just summon. It's like the Meeseeks box. You summon a Rick Astley. We're gonna give you a. And then they just don't. Then they die.
I'm Mr. Astley. I'm Mr. Rick.
I'm Rick
Astley, look at me!
I think we've been talking too long.
I'm
We've talked about
delirious.
Rick Astley.
I really need
We're
the
all
toilet.
gone insane. So thank you.
How many paper clips would you have to trade for Rick Astley?
That's all from us today. Thank you for listening. I've been Adam. Find me at AdamIsTalking_ on Twitter.
I'm also Adam from Adam Is Talking.
No, Sam. Don't even just go.
I'm Sam from LCA Productions. You can find us at Productions LCA on Twitter.
And I'm Inkydoodle4 from inkydoodle4.com. No, the YouTube, just the YouTube channel Inkydoodle4. It's not that special.
This has been the Traumatised Pineapple Podcast. Thanks
end.
for listening.
Yay.
Anchor.
For future episodes, as well as behind the scenes info and bonus material, head to our website at traumatisedpineapple.wordpress.com. Thanks for listening.